Hello, welcome back to Victory of the People YouTube channel. My name is Nico. I am your host. Our mission is to fanatically empower families to shift their mindsets and overcome limited generational belief systems. So, we are, sorry, kicked my camera. We are continuing with this segment on how to start a business. So, how to start a business from the vision all the way to making your first point of sale. And so in the previous videos that I put out, we started with the vision and how the leader is the visionary, the mission, and now we're getting into the meat and the potatoes. So the business plan. And in the previous video, I don't know if you saw it yet, but we talked about how the business plan is like a key or a roadmap to the success of your organization. And so the SBA, which is the Small Business Administration, they have two, and not saying they're the only ones or only types of business plans, but they have two that are on their website and two that are the most common. And the first being the traditional plan template. The traditional plan template can be very long. Like I said previously, it could be up to 36 pages long. It goes into grave detail about your organization, from the products and services you sell, who is your organization, what platforms do you plan to use, everything. And so today we are going to look at each section, if you will, of the traditional business plan template. So this will be a long video. However, I want to ensure that I go into detail about what to put in each section to make sure that you're successful. So let's get started. So the traditional business plan template. So the first section should be your executive summary. So this section includes who and what your company is and how and why it would be successful. So in this section, literally, I use the word document. And when you type up your business plan, executive summary, start listing who your business is, include the mission statement, include the product or services that you're offering. Who's the company's leadership team? Who's the leader? Are you the leader? Are you going to hire management to lead your organization? Put in some info about employees if you have some. And I think this is like an ongoing process. When you're first getting started, you may not have a big team. You may not have an entire full-fledged team to put in these slots. However, I think that you can go back and kind of add as you go. Include info about location. Where do you plan to set up shop? What state? Online? Do you plan on using a certain platform? And include growth plans if you plan to ask for financing. All right. So once you got the executive summary out of the way, the next section is the company description. So in this section, provide details about your company. So go into details about the problem that your business plans to solve. List the customers or businesses that you plan to serve. So every business doesn't necessarily serve consumers. So some organizations are set up to serve other businesses. So make sure you include that in this section and just make it clear on who your customer base will be, whether that be a business or whether that be consumers or people buying products or services. What competitive advantages will make your organization a success? So do you have some secret to make the best body butter, or to come up with headphones that are magnificent. I'm not exactly sure what, but in this section, you should list the competitive advantages that you may have over other competitors that are already in your market. Who's on your team? What qualifications or expertise do you have in your team? And make sure you list that there as well. And I know when you first get started, you may not have, like I said, a full-fledged team. However, list what you have as the leader or as the CEO. What qualifications, what expertise do you bring to the table? And so you can list that there in this section. And what do you plan to set up shop? Like I said, locations, venues, online, etc. So just go into grave detail about everything that you plan on doing. And also list the strengths and weaknesses of your organization. So next is market analysis. And so who is your target market? So you got to do some research and find your target market and be specific, because your product and service is not for everybody. It's never going to be for everybody. We can't say, oh, it's going to be for everybody and everybody's going to buy my product and service, and they're not. So you need to find out who is your target market, where they play, where they shop, where they hang out. And in the market analysis, you would research and put your findings in this section. What industry do you plan to join? What are successful businesses in your target market doing well? And how do their market strategies work for them? Do they have some great way of bringing customers in? Is that working well for them? Can you do it better? Based on your research, you should be able to answer these vital questions and put it into that segment of the business plan. All right. So organization and management is the next section. So in this section, you want to include the structure of your organization. What is the structure? Are you a nonprofit? Are you an LLC, which is a limited liability company or a limited liability corporation? Who are the key players in your organization? How do you want it ran? What systems will you put in place to ensure that it will be ran efficiently? So when I say systems in place, sometimes you can have a daily checklist for every member of management or team members to go through to ensure that these things are done, to ensure that the business is being run efficiently on a daily basis. So what structure and what systems and what policies will you put in place to ensure that? Like I said, be sure to include the legal structure in this section for liabilities and tax obligations. So I hear a lot people talking about, oh, I have an LLC and, but LLC is just protecting, it's essentially asset protection. So it's protecting if anything were to happen, if someone to slip and fall on your organization or your establishment, it is separating your business assets from your personal liability. So that way, if you're sued, your personal assets are safe. And so in this section, you will have to determine which structure best suits you and your organization. And I'll do a video on structure and what they mean and what they protect and what's best for which company. Like I said, you could do a nonprofit, you can have an LLC. LLC is not the only structure. There are many S corps, B corps, and there's a lot out there, but I'll definitely, going forward in another video, I'll help you kind of determine where you fit in as far as deciding the structure of your organization. However, in this section of your business plan, you need to include what you plan to do, what you've already registered as, or what you plan to register as. Put in flow charts to the section. So flow chart is just when you go into detail about she's the manager of marketing, who she's in charge of, and it's all on one sheet of paper. It's all flowing and it has who's in charge of what and who's in charge of who. And so it just kind of within a larger organization, or like I said, if you're just getting started out, it wouldn't be too hard to come up with a flow chart. But if you are growing and you're a larger organization, a flow chart will definitely be something that is pertinent to running your organization smoothly. So express how qualification and experience will help success of your new business. So like I said, you may not have a big team yet, but put your qualifications, put your experience, put what you've been through that is going to help the success of your organization. And it does, like I said, it doesn't have to always be someone else. It could be definitely the visionary and the leader. Going along with that, include resumes and credentials of team members to back up that claim. So your product and service. What do you do? Who do you serve? What do you sell? What services or service do you provide? Be sure to include intellectual properties, copyrights, patents, trademarks, and trade secrets. So like I said, if you say, for instance, you're doing a skincare line, or you're starting a new business as far as the skincare line is concerned. Don't know too much about the skincare line, but say you have this this idea or this recipe for a body butter, and you don't want anybody else to know about it, but however you need to put it somewhere safely in your organization. So it should go in this section of your business plan, in the service or product section. Be sure to include any research you found about your product and service you plan to offer. If it's already on the market or something that's like it, do some research. Find out what others are doing and how they're successful. And like I said, how can you have a competitive advantage of that, and how you can possibly make it better. So marketing and sales is the next section. So you should research ideas and have a unique approach to the market and the products or services you plan to sell. So when you're marketing, you are attracting customers. And so how are you going to attract those customers? So you need to research some ideas and some unique approaches to you and your business on how you plan to attract those new clients. And what platforms will you use to make an actual sale? So unless you plan on, going to a corner or something and sell t-shirts, you're going to need a way to solidify those sales. I.e., let's see, for instance, Shopify. Shopify is an online platform where you can have your product catalog. You can have customers go on your website, actually buy your product, pay with a credit card, and close the sale. So research which platform works best for you and your organization, and how you're going to go forward with that, and how you want to capture and retain customer information. And that is very vital, especially for customer retention. You want to ensure that whatever platform you're using, that it has a way for you to retain customer information, whether it be an email list, whether it be a text list, some way to keep track of your customers and to let them know of new products or services that you plan on offering or selling, and kind of get feedback on their experience on previous things that they bought from your organization. Financial projections, which is a big one, especially if you are planning to seek funding. So including financial projections when seeking funding to let future investors of your business know that this will be a success. So this is very, very important if you are looking or seeking funding. Are you currently in business? Be sure to provide income statements and balance sheets if you are in business. If not, projections, which I'll go over here shortly. If you have collateral, do you wish to use it if necessary? If so, put it in this section. You don't have to have collateral. However, some individuals do. They want to use it. And if you plan to use it, put it in this section. So your financial picture should be for the next 5 years, at least. A lot of organizations and new businesses project out, I would say 10 years in the future, but at least 5 years in the future to get started. So like I said, include forecasts for income statements, balance sheets, and cash flow statements. If you're not in business yet, you need to have a forecast. And this is just a rough view of where you plan on going financially. And you can, do a forecast on any Word document. Word has some new technology where you can put in some numbers and forecast the future sales, or where you see your company in the future based on, cost, inventory, products, services. You need that though. If you're not in business yet, you need a forecast. If you are in business, just include your current statements. So CAPEX statement will also be included in this section. So capital expenditure budgets. Essentially, it is the upkeep of equipment. So if you're running a t-shirt company, your press has to be upkept. Your rotary machine, the machine that cuts out the lettering for your t-shirts, it has to be upkept and it has to be in good condition because you need it to stay in business. And so you have to have a CAPEX statement, especially if you have equipment that you use on a regular basis. And to make sure that it's kept up, and make sure that if it fails, you're not able to sell. You're not able to be on the market. You're not able to sell your products and services. And be sure that your projections match your funding requests. So when you're projecting and you're doing a forecast, make sure that they match your funding requests. Don't project that in 2 months you'll make $10,000, but you're asking for $100K. It doesn't really make sense. So just make sure that your projections match your funding requests and they make sense. And visuals, like I said, are a great way to express or tell the future story of your organization. Last but definitely not least is appendix. So this is just a place where you're going to physically have legal documents. You can have your articles of incorporation in this section for safekeeping, product pictures. Like I said, if you're going to have some type of online website, and licenses, permits, any other vital information, anything that you are going to need in the future for your organization will go in that section. Okay. So I know it was a lot, but that is the traditional plan template. And next we'll go over the Lean Startup plan template. However, like I said, this is the most in detailed template that the SBA recommends on their website. And like I said, it could be up to 36 pages long. So if you are new to the channel, please like, share, and subscribe if you use or taking in our information. We need new subscribers. We're new, but we'll get there. And remember, you do have the victory over your life.